Hi, Elise Dewsberry here, Artistic Director at New Musicals Inc. And this is the fourth part of my little mini-series on collaboration. I've talked about why collaborate, finding a collaborator, best practices in a collaboration, and today I'm going to talk about a very similar topic to that, which is solving problems in a collaborative relationship, both dramaturgical problems and personality problems. It's in terms of dramaturgical creative differences. Let's say you have your collaborative team cannot agree on the song placement or the title of the song or what this moment should be, or some moment of the plot, any creative moment in the show where the collaborative team can't agree on what should be going on. So there are a few things that I would discuss about how to deal with that. First of all, be open to another idea. The writing process is a rewriting process. So trying an idea is never the end of the day. You always have what you already wrote, or you always have the opportunity to write something different. So trying something, if your collaborator's really pushing an idea you don't like or you don't think is going to work, try it anyway. It's not going to hurt you at the end of the day. Once you've written it, then the two of you can look at it, or the three of you, or however many, can look at it and say, did this work? Didn't it work? Or you can say, can we try something else too? Or maybe that's your response is, look, I want to do it this way, you want to do it that way. Let's try both. Let's try both approaches, and then get some other feedback to try and see. So that would be my first suggestion, is just be open enough to give it a try. You may be won over and you may not, but it's fine, because you're going to be doing a lot of rewriting over the course of a project anyway. So give it a try. The next thing is that if you really are deadlocked, especially if there are only two collaborators and you don't have anyone to break the tie, and you're completely deadlocked, one person says this is the way to do this moment and the other person says this is the way, and you're arguing, you cannot agree. Neither one is going to give in. And maybe you've even tried the previous idea. Maybe you've written this idea, and you're still completely divided. No, I was right, mine was good. No, I was right, mine is better. And you just can't decide. That's the moment that I would recommend that you step back from that and discard both of those ideas and see if you can come up with a third idea. Put your heads together and say, okay, just for this moment, let's say we're not going with either of those ideas. Let's see if between us we can come up with yet another idea, a different idea from either of those that we both contribute. Now, this may not work, but often I think you'll find that if you put those two ideas that you're deadlocked about aside and work together to come up with another idea, you may very well come up with an idea that's better than either of the two that you came up with, or at the very least is an idea that you both really like, and so you can move forward with it, and it solves the impasse, which is equally important. So I would recommend that. If you are finding, on a personality side of things, if you're finding that you're having some difficulties personality-wise with the collaboration, go back to my best practices vlog from last month that talked about, making sure that you're showing respect and that you're not ghosting, and that you're not treading on someone else's work or trying to take credit for it. All of those things apply. But I would also say that when you're trying to work it out, I would highly recommend that you not use email or text. Once you realize that there's some tension and some problems happening, get on the phone or get on a face-to-face, video conference, or get in the same room, because the written word in email or text has a really difficult time conveying tone. And so the potential for misunderstanding is huge. Someone can totally misread your tone. They can think you're being mean when you meant it to be funny, or vice versa. It gets very, very dangerous. And something that starts out as a mild disagreement can blow up out of proportion into something that, you just can't even speak to each other anymore. So as soon as you sense that there's any tension in that form of communication, I would strongly recommend that you say, hey, let's, send an email that says, let's not do this in email. Let's get on the phone. Let's get on a video conference. Let's get in the same room, and let's have a conversation where body language and tone are going to be able to contribute just as much as the actual words, and that's just going to be a lot better. I would recommend that. Back to the dramaturgical side of it for a moment. If you're having a disagreement about something, and you let's say you've tried a couple of different things, try to get that work in front of a third party, a trusted colleague, a dramaturg. Get it to a workshop group where you can have a reading in front of people, and try to get some outside opinions so you can sort of weigh what's working and what isn't. Be careful though that you don't weight that you don't make it clear that you don't come to your dramaturg and say, we're fighting over whether she should shoot him in this moment or not. What do you think? Because then you're presenting something where you're asking someone to take sides, whether that's your dramaturg or your director or your best friend or the people at your workshop. Don't ask them to take sides. Just present the work and let them respond to it without them knowing which side they're taking when they do that. And you're going to get a more honest response, and then you and your collaborators can later, because you know which sides you're on, you can discuss the feedback that you got, but you haven't asked people to come down on sides, and it isn't about that. So that's what I would recommend. So those are some strategies that I would suggest for solving both dramaturgical and personality problems when you're in a collaboration. But probably the number one thing that I would recommend would be make sure you have a contract. And I'm not going to talk more about that right now because that's going to be for my final vlog in this series for next month. So come back and check that one out when I talk about why I think you need to have an agreement, a contract, a collaborative agreement of some kind, and what should be in there and what it protects you from. So I'll talk about that in the upcoming vlog next month. So bye-bye.